offices or up on Capitol Hill, and you nitpick and you plant fake stories in the Washington.
You know, I don't like many of Trump's, people in. I just don't. I've made it very clear. I don't like many of his picks. It's just the way it is. This by far has to be one of the worst. And you'll get a bunch of people that say, he's a neocon. Look, there's something that people need to recognize here. All that Pete Hegseth is, all he is about physical strength and war. And I'm not saying this as some leftist, because I've never been a leftist, nor would I ever be. But he has an addiction to war. I'm sure that, I'm a psych nurse, I don't know what the term would be for that, but it falls under an addiction with these people. It's not just an obsession with the war, that's all their life revolves around is war. If there is not a war and they can be commander and tell everybody, oh, don't you say anything against our military. I would never say anything against our military. I feel bad for our military. Oh, I feel so bad for them having to deal with this jackass. I'm sure maybe they love him, okay? But he has an addiction problem. It is. Maybe they need to come up with a new term, the people that are addicted to war. Because if you take Pete Hegseth out of the war element, there's nothing to him. What? He'll go back to Fox News and just be a commentator, where even on there, all he carried on about is like what a badass he is. And he's just an egomaniac jackass, okay? Which is why to me he really belongs in the jackass party. But, the donkey party, But the fact is, that's all there is to him. That's it. And then he likes to stand on his Christ is King thing, but he really, really just throws Christ's name around, but he doesn't represent Christ at all. He'll say a great prayer. It's just words, blah, 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 blah. Means nothing. But he has an addiction. I posted this on Truth yesterday. It's an addiction. It's a sick addiction. And all there is to the core of these people. And only God can regenerate their hearts, because their hearts are unregenerated. See, when your heart is unregenerated, you can run around and call yourself a Christian all you want. But you have an unregenerated heart. It's full of pride. It's full of folly. It's full of ego. It's full of we will win. It's full of it's the ego. It's the curse. And we all suffer from it. But many people keep it in check. You put Hegseth in roles like this, that's all you have is this bullshit curse every time he opens his mouth. Then when he adds Christ to King to it, it's like, oh, good Lord, please, good Lord, just take me out now, God. I'm good with going now, God. Seriously, true Christians really don't like this world. A real Christian hates this world. God didn't want you to attach to the world. Remember, I say it all the time. He did. Why? Why didn't he want you? You will have all the wealthy people tell you he didn't want you to attach to the physical objects. No, he didn't want you to attach to the systems. Because this is the danger of this is what happens. If we had more Christians with regenerated hearts in this country, which means they would have to look at themselves, which means it's not just about repenting. See, once you surrender to God, God's going to make you look at yourself. He will. And people don't want to do that. See, Pete Hegseth loves to talk like he's a big, bad warrior, okay? But he can't ever take those eyes of his own and look inside his own heart and see how diseased his own heart is. And although I'm using him as an example, that's many people in this country. And you may think, who the hell are you to say? Well, no, I'm just saying, I know the walk. I've walked the walk. And most people, you'd have probably every church in this nation that would say, listen to the way you talk. You're not fruit of the Spirit. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I've walked that walk. And every day I look at myself. I do. And I say, no, God, decide. No, no, God. And God says, no. You surrender to me. You surrender to me every day. I don't let somebody else come in and mess with you. You surrender to me. You do my will. See, when you surrender to him every day, not just, well, whatever, God, but you know who you're surrendering to, then and you ask him to protect you, then he will. Then you don't need to test the other spirits. I mean, you still can. I do all the time. I'm just like, but God, is this you? Yes, you surrendered to me. You keep surrendering to me, which is why I've lost everything. Not because God wants me, but because I'm convinced at this point that it had to be this way so that there would be somebody that would call it out. Because as long as you're getting the blessings from this world, and the world is currently run under the Prince of Darkness. If the world's currently, and I'm not saying that Trump is the Prince of Darkness, I'm saying the human heart is the Prince of Darkness. The human heart in general is the Prince of Darkness. See, God didn't want you to follow the heart, and everybody loves to say, never trust the heart, and wrong. Never trust the heart if you have the heart of Pete Hegseth, because it's the unregenerated heart. Once God replaces the heart of stone with the heart of flesh, which is the heart of him, oh no, then that's the heart you need to be following. Will you hear any church in this country say it? No, you won't. They're all surface. They all do the surface thing. Let's not surrender. We put one foot in the Prince of Darkness's kingdom while we tell God we're his. Okay, yeah. So God says one day the people will get it. One day they'll get it that you can't have the divided loyalty. The churches have spent a lifetime convincing you to have the divided loyalty. The Freemasons and all the secret societies are all not a result of being in God's kingdom. But then you get the churches saying, "Oh no, God's kingdom is once you die." That's when God's kingdom is. That is such an insult to God. It's some of the things these people come up with. That is such an insult to God. As if God can't have his kingdom here. And they would say, well, he'll bring it. We have to go through Mark of the Beast. Mark of the Beast was the denarius, okay? It's as simple as that. The mark of the beast is taking on the image of Caesar. And when you place your foot in his kingdom, you've taken on that image. I know, people don't like it. I probably wouldn't even say it if it wasn't, everything I've lost. But it's almost like that's the journey God's taken me down so that I would see. That's you being in that kingdom. And I've wondered this long before Trump was president. My walk with God. I've sat back and I'm like, but the way the world works, God, it makes us focus on everything but you. See, I put up a video and somebody had the audacity, so stupid, to say on truth, because I had said that, the world enjoys talking about sports more than they do God. See, ever since getting sober, I love to talk about God. There's just not many people that want to talk about God. I mean, I would find people in Alcoholics Anonymous all the time. That's why it was it's comfortable. It's comfortable because we do talk about it. So then outside of meetings, you can, you're at coffee with people and you talk, it would be so exciting because I would, be like a sponge wanting to know their experiences with God, like their true walking experiences. And they liked talking about God because they knew God was real. But in the big overall world, the world isn't interested in God. So through my many years, long before Trump came into office, I used to be like, but God, everything the world does is, it's about not wanting us to ever make you the exciting thing, make you the talk of everything. And it's just, so, you got to create the circus show of sports and football and baseball and, and then you got your daily soap operas and, there's just something for everybody that is all nothing to do with God. So Pete Hegseth was at this point of the game, worst decision Trump made. And I know, Trump would say, these are all my, okay, whatever, okay? It's an unregenerated heart. He should seek some addiction counseling, although I don't know if we have any for people that are addicted to human suffering and war.